Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Just going to be finishing up the week with the team that I brought to the Oregon Regional Championships. I'm going to be switching to a new team on Monday, so if you have any recommendations for teams or strategies that you'd like to see, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you want to try out this team, you can check out the QR code in the description below, as well as the team analysis, which were uploaded earlier this week. We're going to find our first opponent of the day, and it's actually going to be a Drifblim Tapu Lele mirror match, which I'm not looking forward to because my Drifblim and Lele are a little bit slower than most Drifblims and Leles, and that kind of doesn't give me the upper edge. My opponent also has a Koko, which is not good, so this is already looking really bad, but I'll try to do what I can. So, let's see. My opponent's team, Drifblim, Tapu Lele, Tapu Koko, Garchomp, Arcanine, Snorlax. Obviously, we kind of run the same team archetype, but I have Metagross over Snorlax, and my opponent is Tapu Koko over Kartana. And I suspect if I were my opponent, I would just bring Lele, Drifblim, Garchomp, Koko. So how do I beat that? Could go with my own Drifblim and Kartana if my opponent leads Lele, Drifblim, which I feel like my opponent kind of has to. That's not a bad idea, I think. I kind of like that. Part of me really wants Arcanine here, but it's not that great. I think I might just have to go Drifblim, Kartana, Lele, Garchomp. But the goal is to... So I have Sash, right? And my opponent's Drifblim has to Tailwind turn 1 pretty much. But that means my Kartana can get a Smart Strike off. Yeah, I'm going to hold my opponent in these Drifblim Lele. And I'm going to go Drifblim, Kartana, Garchomp, Lele in the back. But this is a really scary matchup because my opponent has faster Pokemon than me. So I'm not a huge fan of how this could potentially play out. Metagross, you can maybe make a case for as a lead, but it gets hit by Shadow Ball and Will-O-Wisp. And Arcanine, part of me really wanted it for the Intimidate, and because I have the Bulldoze, which can definitely be a really clutch move sometimes, especially against stuff like Koko, and it gives me another means of speed control, but it doesn't do much damage otherwise. So I'm going to go Drifblim Kartana. I never have led this before. This is like the only kind of case where I could potentially see this making sense. Oh no! Neither of us led with Lele. So my opponent actually goes for the Arcanine. That's bad, especially... I don't know whose Drifblim is faster here. Oh man, this is so scary. I think Arcanine's definitely targeting my Drifblim here. But I don't really have any options. Yeah. I'm gonna Tailwind and switch Kartana out into Garchomp. Oh, man, my opponent made a really smart play, Gambo. Like, the Arcanine covers the Lele option, but it also covers Kartana. But if I let Drifblim Garchomp, that would have been so good for me. Oh, Drifblim's faster than my opponent's Arcanine. Okay. So he gets the Flare Blitz off first. How fast is that Drifblim then? Wow. Okay, but I do get Tailwind up at least, which is good. So we trade Tailwinds. This is okay. And now my Garchomp puts on pressure against my opponent's Arcanine. Is there anything I could switch in right now? I do have an opportunity to Swords Dance here. Earthquake also just knocks out Arcanine, so I don't need to necessarily Tectonic Rage. My opponent could Will-O-Wisp my Drifblim. I mean, my Garchomp. So I'm gonna go for a Shadow Ball here. I think I want to take this opportunity to set up a Swords Dance. Because that negates a potential burn. Arcanine's probably switching out here, though. But then I could have Tech Reach that slot to cover that option. Maybe I should have just attacked. Oh, he stays in. Okay. Yeah, it just goes for the Shadow Ball into my Drifblim. Okay. So what does Arcanine go for? Will-O-Wisp? No, he just Flare Blitz. Okay, so maybe trying to go for a Sacrifice there, which would make sense. Wow, that did so much. Was that a crit? Yeah. Okay. That crit is definitely frustrating, but what can you do? I don't think I want to bring Lele right now, but I'm concerned because my opponent's Pokemon in the back definitely shall outspeed me. Yeah. 2 turns of Tailwind left on both ends. Yeah, the lead matchup here was just really poor for me. I hope my opponent would leave Drifloon, and if I just let Garchomp Drifloon. My opponent's Drifloon is also, like, faster, which was a problem. Which is why I don't like the mirror match very much to begin with. I'm gonna double up on Drifloon here, I think. Yeah, because believe it or not, I think it's the bigger threat right now, and Arcanine could choose to protect. I don't think it should. It should Flare Blitz. But, yeah. Like, I built this team going into regionals thinking, okay, I don't think that many people are going to be using Drifloon, so I don't think I'll run into a mirror match, and if I do, I have to figure out some, you know, like, clever way to play it. Ooh, Arcanine does protect, though. That's a huge opportunity for me. Okay, cool. So I'll take that turn. Oh, that Drifloon's so bulky, too. What the heck? Oh. Fire Fang gets a crit. That might have mattered. I was at +2. But it took that Smart Strike a lot better than I anticipated it to. So, if I had to guess that Drifloon doesn't have special attack EVs, or it doesn't have too much investment, as Koko comes in, that's still a problem, I suppose, because Dazzling Gleam. Actually, how much HP do I still have full HP on Garchomp, don't I? Oh, wait, no, I took a Shadow. Or no, I took that crit Flare Blitz. Ah, that was bad. I mean, so now my opponent can just Dazzling Gleam Flare Blitz. I don't think I can stop that. Yeah, Koko on the opposing team is also quite bad for me. I think I might have to go Leaf Blade and hope for a crit onto Koko. And protect, yeah. But even if I do get the crit, I suppose it's going to be Garchomp on in the back for my opponent. Yeah, this is one of the issues with the team where, like, since Garchomp and Lele are super slow, mirror matches are always really difficult. So we just seen the Dazzling Gleam come out. Yep. So I need to either just hope Leaf Blade just KOs Koko or gets a critical hit. So close. I really wish I had Arcanine as my last one now instead of Lele. Because Kartana's going to faint, Lele's going to come in, and I guess I need to go for a double protect at this point. Yeah. Tailwind Peter's out on both ends. Yeah, to break this matchup down, pretty much the lead instantly was really bad for me. The only thing that I could have led to be better against that position was Garchomp Drifloon. And looking against my opponent's team composition, maybe that actually makes some sense. Because that means even if my opponent leads Drifloon, I get the Seed boost, and then he has to Will-O-Wisp me instead of Tailwinding. So yeah, actually, I think I should have led that instead. But now I'm just gonna Psychic and hope for the double, I think. Yeah. Tough matchup. And I think that's one of the weaknesses of this team, where if you wanted to edit this team, you should consider making Pokemon faster, maybe getting rid of Metagross for a Scarf user specifically to deal against faster Kokos, Garchomps, and Lele's. Scarf no, Ego I think actually could be kind of cool on this team, because you can still one-shot a lot of things, and you put pressure against Drifloon, and Drifloon doesn't do much damage in return. But I get the double at least. So, window of opportunity. And Arcanine protects, okay. I don't really get that protect play. And Koko just has Gleams, but I'm gonna guess the last Pokemon on my opponent's team is Garchomp. If it's Snorlax, I actually just win the game. So we'll see. But you would think in a mirror match you would bring the Garchomp. Yeah, if Arcanine just Flare Blitz Lele there, which it probably should have, that would have been GG. Because you know I have to go for the knockout onto the Koko. So let's see what's in the back. Or if he's slower than me and I can knock him out with the Tectonic Rage. So I'm not out of this yet. I'm not. But, and it is Garchomp. Okay, yeah, so that was to be expected. Probably his Tech Rage. What should I do here? The other issue is, yeah, Lele is super slow here. So I got the double. I mean, I already protected twice with Garchomp. If I'm my opponent, I probably Tectonic Rage Garchomp. So it comes down to who's faster here, then. So I'm going to Moonblast and Tech Rage Arcanine. Because he can protect Garchomp here, too. Or she, sorry. Yeah, that's probably game. unless that goes into Lele slot, but you would think it has to go into the Garchomp slot here. So I didn't know, yeah, unfortunately, like, my opponent's Garchomp was faster, as was the Drifloon, which in a mirror match is just so hard to beat, because they can match the Tailwind as well. Solid plays there. Yeah, it's going to be a clean knockout. I don't think Pokemon-wise I could have done better, but lead-wise, yeah, that lead just, like, if you want to leg up in mirror matches like this, you need to lead correctly, and I didn't consider the like, I was really confident my opponent would lead Drifloon Lele, but Arcanine Lele, or Arcanine Drifloon makes so much sense, so I should have just gone with my Garchomp. And it did have the berry as well, okay. Yeah, so that's unfortunate, but good game to my opponent. She played really well. And in best of one games, like, I normally, especially against mirrors, like, I anticipate to lose. Whereas in best of three, like, okay, oh, now I know what is faster than what, I can use that to my advantage. There was no outlet I had in the end game there, other than hoping my opponent would, like, choke, because Flare Blitz that you saw just knocked out Lele, as well as Tectonic Rage just knocks out Garchomp. Even if I, like, get a triple protect off, Flare Blitz knocks me out, and then you can just Earthquake me for the win. So, had no out there, pretty much. But, you know, you always got to play until the end, and there was still a window of opportunity for me to win that one, so there was, like, no reason to give up. You know, my win condition was hoping to get a double protect off, maybe knocking out Coco, and then sweeping with Garchomp. But, and if I got the critical hit there with Kartana, maybe that could have done something too, although I suppose that would have just prevented a double protect situation. So I think, yeah, if there was a way I could edit this team, I'd consider getting rid of Metagross for a faster member, specifically for the mirror match, since Drifloon Lele is becoming a very common combination. I mean, obviously, it's already won a bunch of tournaments, but I think now it's even becoming more common. So, next opponent of the day, Javier, running a team of Coco, Garchomp, Lele, Mimikyu, Hariyama, and Metagross. So, kind of a hybrid, like, there's the Trick Room option here with Metagross, Mimikyu, and the Magnezone, but then there's also a fast mode with Garchomp, Coco, and Lele. So I kind of like Drifloon Lele here because I can just Psychic and Shadow Ball and Psychic to knock out Mimikyu to stop Trick Room. In the back, I like Garchomp for sure, and Kartana's really good here, yeah. You can make a case for Metagross, but yeah, as you can see, like, Metagross doesn't fit in this team too well. It was important, like, I don't think I would have won regionals without it because it did win me 1 or 2 sets, and, like, it was really crucial in those sets, but I think an adequate replacement would be just a faster member. Like, Scarf Now Ego, I think, is something that I actually think would make a lot of sense on this team. Which, it's weird, but it, like, gives you options both out in Tailwind and outside of Tailwind. Basically a fast member, like, an outspeed stuff like Coco and Garchomp naturally, or with an item. So, that's probably the one change I make. Otherwise, yeah, like, I decided to sacrifice the speed EVs on Pokemon like Lele and Garchomp specifically because I thought, okay, the teams I'm going to go up against, they're either going to run, you know, faster Garchomp and Lele's, but they're not going to have Tailwind, or they're going to be slower. I mean, they're not going to be slower, but, like, I have the Tailwind option, and the only issue is that my opponent has the Tailwind option and faster variants of that Pokemon, and in a mirror match, that's obviously a problem. So, yeah, that's something I would, you know, go back to the team building kind of process and reassess things. But, okay, so we see Coco Garchomp from my opponent, which is pretty fine with me. I get a relatively safe opportunity to just Tailwind and Protect here. I mean, even my opponent knocks out Drifloon, that's a free switch it into Garchomp. Then it's a kind of question of stalling out the Tailwind game for my opponent. So, yep, Psychic Seed will activate. I'm going to guess Garchomp here as a Z move. The only scary thing here is if it is Scarf Physical Coco, which would one-shot me. With, and that's actually a really cool tech that's been popping up, just to knock out Drifloon. It's a very best of one tech. But, you never know, we could see it. And that would probably insta-lose me the game, so that's not something I hope to see here. That would be very intimidating. But yeah, I was thinking, like, what could I have had led or had, like, Lele Drifloon as a combination. The reason why it's really good right now is because, like, there are few Pokemon that can match it in terms of, you know, it's just such a, you know, scary lead matchup. So we don't see Protects or Switches from my opponent. Okay, not Scarf, Physical Coco. That's good. So I get Tailwind up. Thunderbolt, yep. Into Drifloon, that's fine. Survive that. Garchomp, Tech Rages. Perfect. So that's exactly what I was hoping to see, pretty much, because now Drifloon is able to hang around. I can potentially go for a Destiny Bond, which I might actually go for this next turn. Alternatively, I could just Will-O-Wisp Garchomp and Psychic, which I also might do. I just have to be careful not to, like, carelessly double target into things right now. But, Yeah, Lele takes a lot of damage there. Survives, but okay. So I've got my Tailwind going up for me. I've got Destiny Bond. Do I want a Destiny Bond or just Shadow Ball? It also could be Sash Coco. I'm gonna Destiny Bond and... Well, I mean, I'm more scared of Coco at this point, right? And Psychic Coco. Maybe I should have Will-O-Wisp. Coco could protect and Garchomp could EQ here or Poison Jab. Yeah, actually, that doesn't cover the Poison Jab option. I'm not sure if I like my play too much there. Because if I were my opponent, I would consider... Oh, okay, neither Switch Out or Protect. So that's promising, I think. And I would rather get rid of Coco because that outspeeds my Garchomp and my Kartana in the back. Yeah, and that Psychic one-shots it. Nice. But if it were Sash or AV, that could have been a concern. I didn't know what item it had there. No! Triplum! Oh, that's so unfortunate. If that hit, I just take Garchomp down and I'm up 3-2. And I get a free switch into my Garchomp and there are 2 turns of Tailwind left. Oh, that's so sad. Alright, that's fine. And the other lame thing is I can't go for a Destiny Bond again, but Mimikyu comes in, which I'm also okay to see. So the thing is, a Rock Slide could knock both my Pokemon out. I think I'm still just going to double up on a Mimikyu with the Shadow Ball and Psychic, since most Mimikyus don't carry Protect. And there is a very possible threat of Trick Room right now. But that is unfortunate. Okay, Garchomp protects. Perfect. Yeah, so I made the right read there. I hope this double target knocks out. Even if not, though, like, I'm still in a pretty good position. This does remind me of my finals match against Conan, though, since he did have Mimikyu. Psychic has a really good chance under Psychic Terrain with Life Orb to just one-shot, since I'm almost max, or I am pretty much max special attack. And it's got to be really bulky to survive this. But it actually survives. Oof. Okay. Ah, that's not good. I could have taunted there too, but I didn't know if it was Mental Orb or not, because most Mimikyus do want to carry that Mental Orb. But so this is the last turn of Tailwind, at least. Oh, I really wish I was able to bring that Garchomp down. Oh well, no worries. And that's presumably a damage roll on Mimikyu too. Maybe my opponent needed to survive that though. Yeah, I mean, we're probably just gonna see like a Destiny Bond, or sorry, a Rock Slide and a Shadow Claw. So I'm just gonna sack Drifloon here and protect Lele. Because I've got Garchomp in the back and Sash Tana. And my opponent can't Z-move me anymore. I wanted to show you guys why Destiny Bond's a cool move. Didn't work out, unfortunately, but it happens. Man, Metagross would have been a cool Pokemon to have in this position. Okay, so Tailwind peters out. So, yeah, I'm going to bring in Garchomp now. Who was potentially in the back? Oops. Hariyama. Drifloon. Or, sorry, Magnezone. That's one turn of Trick Room stalled out, which is kind of a struggle. I'm going to Tech Rage here. My opponent has to target down Lele with Mimikyu. So I think I'm going to switch out into Kartana. But this could be risky because he could just play rough Garchomp or go for a Will-O-Wisp. And I'm hoping that my Garchomp is slower than my opponent's right now. Oh boy. Okay, so Lele switches out into Kartana. Garchomp protects too. Good play. Oh, wow, I did not anticipate that. That's really cool. Pain Split. I didn't even know Mimikyu got that. So, wow, yeah, that's some cool stuff there. And Tech Rage, unfortunately, will not do too much damage here. Yeah, this Garchomp is a nuisance. Pain Split, Trick Room, Shadow Claw. I wonder what the last one is. You would think if it's play rough, it would have gone for it there. I don't think Garchomp's in Leaf Blade KO range, which is the other issue. I do have an opportunity to double protect here, and I think I will to scout out for what my opponent goes for. That was a great protect by Garchomp there, though, just to scout out for a Z move. There wasn't much I could have done to capitalize off that, especially seeing Pain Split now, like, other than maybe Swords Dancing. My goal is just to stall out Trick Room at this point, but the issue is I don't know whose Garchomp is faster still. Although he can't Earthquake himself, I suppose. Okay, so there is Play Rough. Okay, so we've seen the full moveset. And Fire Fang. Oh, that's not pretty. But the thing is, I can knock out... My opponent has to double up onto something right now for a knockout. Or, like, if you play Rough and Fire Fang... Well, it really comes down to what the last one is, because Rough Skin is my main concern. So I'm actually going to Swords Dance here, because I think my opponent might want to double up into Kartana. And just Smart Strike to knock out Mimikyu. I'm really hoping Hariyama's the last one. That's the best case scenario. No miss from Play Rough, okay. So Garchomp faints. This is going to come down to the wire, but I don't like my position. Unless the last one's Hariyama. If the last one's Hariyama, I just win the game. Yeah, hopefully no burn or flinch here. Please no. Okay. So Trick Room's gone now. I should get the +1 boost here with Kartana as well. But once again, it still comes down to what my opponent's last Pokemon is. As Trick Room expires. I don't think you... Like, there's... Hariyama would make no sense in this matchup. I would expect Magnezone, maybe? But let's see. It's Tapu Lele. Also could be Scarf Lele for all I know. I think I lose here. But I'm going to double protect to scout for what my opponent goes for. Because you'd have to Earthquake your own Lele here. If you want to go for an Earthquake. Yeah, I was really hoping to see Hariyama, but what can you do about that? So by double protecting here, the only issue is, like, Smart Strike will knock out Lele, but Earthquake just knocks out both of my Pokemon. Or if I Leaf Blade Garchomp, like, unless it's not Rough Skin for some reason. But even if it's not Rough Skin, my Lele's slower, so presumably Kartana can just like, Lele will knock out Kartana, and then even if I get a Moonblast off, another Moonblast will knock me out. Oh, yeah. I banked off knocking out Mimikyu that turn, and it didn't work out. Well, my opponent does Earthquake himself. Okay. But my Lele is still presumably slower. Yeah, that was a very safe play. I would just Earthquake again if I were my opponent. Is there anything I can do here? Double Protect Kartana, hope Earthquake knocks out Lele. Looks like he'll survive. Oh, I don't know why. I didn't mean to double up into Chomp there, but I was running out of time. Yeah, he's gonna be Rough Skin though, so unless his Lele is slower for some reason. Yeah. That Pain Split was key. Unless my Lele's faster here, but it's not going to be. It is faster! Wow. I did not anticipate that. Okay. But I guess that makes sense because it's a Trick Room Mimikyu, so that could have been just like no speed investment Lele or like Sassy. Or I mean like a minus speed variant to sweep under Trick Room. Wow. I thought that was a game I had definitely lost, but that was my win condition. Hope my opponent Earthquaked himself, so then it would be a Moonblast KO range and my Lele was faster. But I was pretty much, like, I conceded that one pretty much. But that's why you don't give up, right? Oh boy, that was stressful, but that was definitely a tricky set of matches. I mean, that first game, I feel like having led so poorly, there was really nothing I could have done. In that second game, like the miss was definitely unfortunate. Metagross could have made a lot of sense there to cover the Lele Mimikyu option under Trick Room, just because I can one-shot both of them. So maybe Metagross would have been an appropriate Pokemon to bring in that match. So we do split the games 1-1. Not too pleased about either of them. I think could have played definitely better in both, and sometimes you can see how matchup based this team can be sometimes, but definitely some fun games there. And I was not anticipating my Lele being faster there, and I was like, oh well, that's 2 losses, but we were able to squeak out with the win there. Went for the, like, if my opponent just protected Lele earlier, that would have made a ton of sense. But that's, like, I shouldn't have doubled up in a Garchomp there either, because Garchomp could have protected. What I meant to do was just Leaf Blade Chomp and Moonblast Lele, although it didn't end up making a difference, because Garchomp there probably protects anyway. Like, you're not going to throw. But that was definitely really intense. And yeah, I think there's a lot of good things to take away from these set of games, though, because you see how, like, Mimikyu, I think if you want to use Mimikyu, I would probably use Mentor with almost max HP and special defense investment, specifically against Tapu Leles. Although if you're going against Specs Lele, that's still a problem, but a lot of Leles are opting for Life Orb nowadays. And yeah, because that can almost always guarantee Trick Room, since you have that invisible substitute, basically. And no combination of doubles, other than like a Kartana and a Tech Rage from Garchomp, can really knock it out. And that first game was just a lesson in, okay, my Pokemon were too slow. So in Best of 1, you kind of got to play and hope that you're faster sometimes, especially in a mirror match like that. But that's why I say if you want to edit the team, definitely feel free to try out faster Pokemon, like faster Garchomp or faster Tapu Lele, because that definitely, and Tapu and Drifloon, because that can definitely give you a leg up. Especially because a lot of Drifloon teams have Arcanine as well, so faster Lele will allow you to potentially outspeed Arcanine, since most of them are admin. So if you run like Timid Lele, for example, you can put some pressure on against it. But yep, that's going to be it for this game, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Like I mentioned, I'll be switching to a new team relatively soon. So if you have any recommendations, definitely let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. Alright, I'll catch you guys next time.